What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and today we're going to talk about that good old Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 6. Don't be salty. Okay, I think that's the name of it, y'all, but don't hold me. All right, let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So the episode kicks off with Sheree having a conversation with her daughter. I'm sorry, no, it doesn't. The episode kicks off with Candy practicing Chinese with her son Ace, and then we have Sanya's son. She's on the phone calling her husband Aaron because her son is acting like a damn baby's kid apparently, and it just seemed like I don't know, it seemed like saying you don't be knowing how to control her damn kid. Like, I don't think she really has a lot of patience. So that might be why her ass don't want to have no more children. I'm just saying. But that's just an assumption from what I see. Moving on. Then they show Candy and Candy. Child, can I get my words together? It's late at night, y'all. So give me some grace. Then they show Kenya and Marlo talking about trying to set up something so that they can cheer up Sheree because of what she just recently went through with Tyrone, okay, and him standing her up, honey child, in daggone Philly, okay. So moving on, in the first scene, we see Sheree talking to her daughter Tiara, okay. Sheree's kind of prancing around the house in her pajamas. She's just not in the best flow of moods, and she's just really trying to take it all in as to what just happened to her. It's like, damn, I'm a bad bitch, and I just really got stood up by a bum ass nigga. Okay, I don't understand how Sheree is taking this lightly. Um, well, she's taking it hard, but I don't know how she's able to even think about moving forward with him. Like, I just don't. It's not even worth it. Like, unfortunately, in situations like what Sheree is going through with someone that has just gotten out of prison, I'm kind of leaning towards what Candy is saying about maybe he has another woman, maybe he's staying with somebody else, and that's why he couldn't come to Philly, come to the restaurant to see her where they met. We're going to meet at the coffee shop. There's so many questions up in the air as to why this man stood her up like that. But for me, it's like, if I'm Tyrone, why am I standing up such a beautiful woman like this? Like, do you understand what you're losing in this situation? Like, I really want to get inside his head. And I think he did an interview with Tasha K, which I'm actually going to look at just so I can kind of see his perspective and see what was going on in his head and why he stood up Miss Daggone She by Sheree. So basically Tiara is like, well, you need to get out of this house. You've been in the house, like, you need to just get back out here and find you or somebody else. Get out of here and get the getting, because you ain't got to be sitting around here waiting around here for him. And so then Sheree says, well, I'm not really ready to let go, but I'm not really ready to talk to him right now either. Like, he called me the next day acting like, talking about what you doing, like everything was cool. And I'm like, I know he fucking lying. You calling me acting like we all, everything's all good in the hood. Ain't no damn way you gonna call me acting like that, sir. Absolutely not. Okay. Here's the thing, Sheree. Move on. Don't even look back, because this man is trash. Okay. Anybody that knows that, especially you're on TV, he knew that you were filming. If that was the case and y'all were so close and he just didn't want to be on the show, he could have just told you that and simply said, listen, I don't feel comfortable filming. I am on house arrest. It's actually kind of embarrassing that I was in jail in the first place. I'm not trying to be on TV with you. And she could have canceled the whole scene. Like, I just think that it was extremely embarrassing. And if you care about me or you love me the way that it seems like they act like they had like this close relationship, that should have been something that was communicated. So moving on, in the next scene, Kenya goes to lunch with Drew, which I'm actually happy to see this lunch. Like, they really had a really, really bad run last season. So it's good to kind of see them connecting. And also, Kenya can offer Drew a lot of advice because clearly she is she was married to Ralph 2.0 and Mark. So Mark is pretty much the older, more developed version of what Ralph is to come to be. Okay. So Drew sits down, they're talking, and they basically make a little joke about who's going to pay the check, because in the last season, Kenya Drew was like, we can split the check, and Kenya was like, oh no, broke bitches split checks. I'll pay the check. That's not what we're about to do right now. And side note, y'all had those friends that when you going out in a whole group and it's like 15 of y'all, and they, everybody want to split. Some people want to split the check, some people don't. Or if they split it, they want to split it evenly down the middle, and all you got was some fries. Yeah, I don't like them friends. We splitting this check with me buying what I ate. But that's another story for another day. So I just thought it was really funny that they kind of joked around about that. So then they go into talking about Kenya says she stayed in New York for a few more days so Brooklyn can hang out with her dad. And then they go into talking about Ralph speaking, and Drew says she was happy that Kenya spoke up for her. She says sometimes it's hard for her to find her voice with Ralph, and she knows that she doesn't really hold his feet to the fire the way that she should, and she doesn't speak up for herself enough. And it was really refreshing to have somebody just stand up for her. And I can appreciate that. Kenya is actually showing me a different personality this season. And I never hated Kenya or was really totally against her, because I feel like she's actually very good for the franchise. But this season, I'm actually starting to like Kenya. And I didn't think I was actually ever going to say that. Okay. So then they go into talking about the sex toy thing with Candy. Like, Kenya expressed her frustrations where, and I said this in my last review, I don't need nobody else's husband dazzling my hoo-ha. Okay? Give the controller to your husband. I don't want you buzzing me. Okay? We are not together. We do not know each other like that. We are not cool like that for me to be having your husband buzzing my hoo-ha. And nobody should ever be that damn cool, because that leads to other issues. Okay? Candy, I get it. You want to promote your products every 5 minutes on this show, but that probably wasn't the right time to do it. But I get why she did it, because on a lot of these shows, a lot of housewives have said behind the scenes that it's really hard to promote your products on the actual episodes. So you got to be very strategic in trying to get your products on the show. So listen, Miss Candy done found a way, honey, and she gonna make sure that everything that she's selling and everything that she doing, we gonna see it so we can spend them coins. Okay. So I agree with Kenya. I don't think that was the right time to be promoting the product, especially y'all going to a play that's about some serious stuff with colored men in general. So moving on, then Kenya tells Drew about her conversation that she had with Sanya. She says, Sanya invited them to her Mommy Nation photo shoot, and she was wondering if Drew was going, and Drew says, well, funny story. She actually invited me, and then she sort of uninvited me because she said that she didn't think that her photo shoot would be the right time for us to discuss the conversation that we had in New York. And I do feel, we're going to get into this later on in the review, but I do feel like saying you're doing a little bit of clout chasing. And then I don't even know what's going on with this relationship with Drew and Sanya, because I just saw them not even maybe a week or so ago partying with Candy on Candy's page. Like, they were on live and both of them were dancing together, hanging out with Candy. So I don't really see, maybe they, patch things up at some point in the season and they get on the same accord. But I don't know if y'all putting on for y'all city and putting on for the cameras for all of this drama just so y'all can have something to talk about. But it's given, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Like, why are y'all even mad at each other? It's silly at this point. But moving on. Drew says, she says that she invited her, uninvited her, and then they end up leaving the lunch with Drew asking Kenya to unblock her on Instagram. And then it just seems like this is more of a blossoming friendship. And I'm happy to see that Drew actually has some sort of friend on the show. Her and Sanya are supposed to be cool. I think she's cool with most of the ladies, but I'm glad that this is a feud that seems to be kind of dying out. So moving on, in the next scene, Candy arrives to saying is Mommy Nation shoot, and they discuss her uninviting Drew to the shoot because Candy is like, "Oh, where is Drew? I thought she was supposed to be here." Because originally it was supposed to be Candy and Drew doing the photo shoot with her, and clearly saying you don't know that she dealing with boss bitches. You can't just be inviting people to photo shoots and not getting the logistics put together. Ain't nobody about to be doing shit for free for you, sis. I understand you are a well decorated Olympian, okay? But you dealing with some bosses. You got to be telling them because they got to make sure that what you're selling isn't kind of against anything else that they're doing within their brand or within their other businesses and things that they're doing. So for you to just say, "Hey, we're doing a photo shoot and thanks, I want you guys to put this sweatshirt on," it's not that simple. It's not like your homegirl that is not in the public eye coming and doing a photo shoot with you. These women are actually for real famous. So I didn't agree with her not telling them what happened, but Candy was a good sport and she put the sweatshirt on and she said, "You know what, whatever. I'm in control of everything I do anyway, and I'll just deal with it later if it's an issue, but I'll do the photo shoot." But Kenya, on the other hand, comes in here and she says, "Oh, you want me to be taking pictures? Did you call my agent? Uh-huh. So you want me to do this for free? Oh, baby, I'm Kenya Moore. I don't do things for free, honey. Okay, that's not what we're about to do." But she was a good sport and she ended up doing the photo shoot as well. So after the photo shoot, and Sanya invites them to a Jamaican dinner cook-off where they're going to cook some different foods and just hang out and have a good old time. And she gets to share her culture with the ladies. So Candy says, "I'm coming because I want to see your house." And then Sanya says, "Hold on, let me stop you right here. We won't be having it at my house because you see the way my checking account is set up. Yeah, my furniture is not there. So we gotta wait for that. It keeps getting pushed back. So what y'all not about to do is come and see my empty ass house. That's what you're not about to do. I just got a damn kitchen. So I don't want to fuck it up. So we gonna go do this dinner somewhere else, okay?" So then they talk about, Kenya tells them about what happened with Sheree and Tyrone standing her up and how she was crying and ghosted by Tyrone. And then Candy says she thinks he's staying with some other woman, and that may be why he didn't come to see her. And Kenya said her and Marlo are having something for her to cheer her up. Okay, let's check these comments real quick. Jessica with a K is in the building. That uninvite was kind of cruel because it's unlikely she really thought Drew would start a problem. Yeah, I agree. I think that Sanya is being a little dramatic or whatever. So I'm just like, really, sis? You gonna uninvite her to an event? Like, is she gonna affect your smile in the photos? Like, I didn't get it. Sanya definitely got the highest up in the hierarchy to promote her photo shoot. Yeah, she definitely did. And I, even though I feel like Marlo is being super extra, she probably was right about her wanting to pick people that has the most followers. And Marlo, you're not really, yes, you are an excellent Muntie to the boys, but you're not known for being a mom. You're known for being a label whore. So I'm going to have people in my videos that are going, in my photos that are going to help me sell the product. So if she had Drew and even if she had all three of them, Drew, Kenya, and Candy in the photo shoot, I would understand that. But Marlo, sorry, sis, this is when you're going to need to sit on home and wear your Fendi on your couch. You're not invited. Okay. So moving on, Marlo sets up for the pampering event with Sheree, and she has a representative from Fendi at her house. And she says she has the president of Fendi on speed dial. I find that highly unlikely, but whatever, sis. You and your townhouse can keep on pushing, honey. Okay, whatever. Speed dial. Moving on. So then she says she has a masseuse coming, and she calls Kenya to see when she was coming. So Kenya answers the phone in full glam, might I add, but she's sick. She's in the bed, and she obviously doesn't look well. And I remember when she was at the lunch with Drew, she was actually she coughed a little bit then, and she said she wasn't feeling well. So this was something that didn't just come on. I feel like it was something that she felt a little tickle in her throat, and then it kind of developed over the couple of days. And she then says, I was planning on coming. That's why I'm in full glam, because I was trying to come, but I called my doctor and he advised me against coming. And he said that I need to get a test before I come, which, listen, we are living in a panorama still. It may seem like we're climbing out of the daggone sunken place with this thing, But you got to be more safe than sorry. She can't be coming around the cast and sick and get all y'all sick, and then y'all can't film anymore. So she was making an responsible choice to make sure she wasn't sick before she came around y'all. Now, her being in full glam don't really mean shit, because she probably was getting glammed and felt like, you know what, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I don't feel good. And she made that decision to not do it. So she says she's sending Drew with the things she needed to provide for the event. And Marlo basically thinks Kenya ass is lying, and she thinks the full glam is a clear giveaway of her lying. Jessica with a K says, thought it was amazing what Marlo did for Sheree to get her spirits up, but Marlo messed up the friendship she was developing with Kenya by starting this. Kenya didn't look well. She didn't look well. I agree. And I think that Marlo is just like clawing at ways to start shit with the ladies, because I think she knows that if she doesn't kind of find her way in this group with this peach, that this is going to be a one peach and done type of season for her, and she's going to be right back in the friend of category. Okay, because I really don't think that Marlo has enough to give to hold on to that peach. I think she was an excellent friend of the show. She doesn't really have much going on in her life that we really want to see, or that she's even showing, for that matter. Like, yeah, you don't want nobody asking you about where you get your money from, but we want to know where you get your money from. Like, I know La Archive is not the only way that you're making all this money. You would be way more interesting if you be more authentic. And she doesn't know how to do that. So for the simple fact that she doesn't know how to do that, and she's not going to share her whole life with us, essentially, you can't have a peach, sis. It is what it is. You got to share the good, bad, and the ugly, just like everybody else that has paid their dues on this show. And that's that on that. So moving on, the next scene shows Sanya in the Caribbean grocery store with her mom getting items for the Jamaican cook-off. And they discuss the guest list, and Sanya tells her mom she's having issues with Drew, and she really doesn't trust her, and she thinks that Drew is really messy and full of drama. So she says she did invite her to the dinner event because she plans on kind of pulling her to the side and having a conversation with her about their conversation in New York, and kind of trying to iron things out with her friend. And so then her mom basically says, well, listen, if she want to act up, okay, we can make it do what it do, baby. Okay, because she better not come up in here. She better put some respect on your name. Okay. And Sanya says the same thing. She's like, she doesn't feel like Drew respects her, and she just feels like Drew is being fake. But here's my thing with Sanya. Like, I really do truly believe that she's doing too much. Like, I feel like you're sacrificing your friendship with Drew, the very person that helped you get on this show, just so that you can be in the in crowd with Kandi. And quiet as it's kept, as much as I love me some Kandi Burruss, child, I loved her ever since Escape, the beginning of Escape. Okay, mind you, Kandi probably ain't gonna be on this show much longer, sis. Because in my opinion, okay, I feel like Marlo and Sheree are coming for Kandi hard, because they feel like Kandi don't work for her peach. Which Kandi is never in the middle of drama. She's always the friend that is like the listening ear. Yeah, I don't think that we've really seen much from Kandi since the drama with Mama Joyce and Todd. Like, ever since then, Kandi hasn't really been giving much. And the streets are saying that the girls want Phaedra Parks back on the show, honey. Okay. And if I'm honest, and y'all might not agree with me, I want to see Miss Phaedra back on the show too, because Phaedra can read a mofo down. Okay. Do I agree with what she did to Kandi? Abso-freaking-lutely not. I do not. But do I think that she's good for the show? 100%. So the word on the street is that Sheree and Marlo are gunning for Kandi and making her work for that peach this season, because they want Miss Phaedra Parks back on the show. Okay. And if Kandi gonna leave, she gonna leave. Or maybe she's gonna bend over and just go ahead and take it and let Phaedra come back to save the series. So moving on, Sheree is at home eating chips in full glam, might I add, in her pajamas. Hair done, nails done, everything did. Okay. But you at home in your pajamas, and randomly Marlo calls you and tells you, girl, go outside and get in the car, honey, because we got something planned for you. Now, Let me tell you why this is so staged. How you know Sheree was home? How you know she ain't sneak back up to Philly trying to find Tyrone? How do we know that? Sheree, you knew that that car was coming for you because you were done up to the gods, okay? And sitting there eating them chips real pretty to make sure it didn't mess up your lipstick, sis, okay? You ain't fooling me, all right? You knew that you were going somewhere. So all of this, y'all surprising her. And mind you, you're not going to get the man from Fendi and the masseuse and get all this food and all this stuff and not know for sure if this girl was going to come to your house. So bravo, y'all can that because that was just very obvious. So she sees the car outside and she says, well, it's not a Rolls Royce, but I'll take it. Sheree, let's not play like you got the coins like that, sis. Knock it off. Okay. So moving on, she gets herself together and she plans on going to the get in the car and go wherever Marlo is leading her off in her chariot. So Sheree gets in the car, she wears a blindfold, and she arrives. And Marlo gets her out of the car, and they reenact their classic scene where they go, just like that, back and forth. And I thought that was funny. So they walk in, and Sheree presents her to Marlo presents Sheree to the Fendi guy. Which, can I tell you something? And this might be a little shady, but the employee didn't look as posh as I would think someone from Fendi would look. Like I feel like he just looked kind of like an around the way guy coming and selling Fendi. Like I feel like he got these Fendi bags from Canal Street. That's why the look that he gave off to me. But I don't know, whatever. Maybe I'm tripping. But anyway, Sheree shops with the guy, and Marlo takes all these pictures of her, and Sheree ends up spending $11,000 with the guy. And I quote, Sheree ends up spending $11,000 with the guy. Here's my thing, Marlo. You big money grip. Why you ain't pay for all these purchases to cheer up sis? Why did you have this man come here for her to spend money? Everybody don't feel better by spending up their coins like you do, buying all this designer bullshit. You can't take that shit with you when you die, and that shit depreciate as soon as you put it on your arm, like a damn car. So what the hell? You brought me over here to spend money and give me a cupcake? I could have stayed the fuck home and ate my Lay's chip and kept my money in my damn bank account. But whatever. You like it, I love it. So then they both go in the kitchen and they sit down and talk. And Marlo gives Sheree some advice on Tyrone and asks, basically, where is she at with it? And, Sheree tells her that Marlo says, I just couldn't believe that you were sitting there in dirty ass Philly waiting on this ex-con to come to meet with you. Like you need to fly above all of this bullshit. Like you are so much better than this. Shout out to Candy with Fly Above. But I feel like, Marlo was just pretty much trying to tell Sheree, like, this wrong road, sis. Wrong road. This is not who you need to be with. This ain't your cup of tea. And you are too cutie on duty to be waiting around for some Negro at a damn coffee shop. And she said, listen, I can literally Google your picture. Like people took pictures of you sitting outside of this restaurant looking like some damsel in distress waiting on her man. Like it was really sad and it was hard for me to see. And I did want to show y'all. This was a very, very good moment for me. Like Marlo gets on my absolute last freaking nerve, but I did appreciate that she did this for Sheree. Like I feel like this is the side of Marlo that I would like to see more. Her being genuine, her being a good friend, and not so much her always being a messy ass bird. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like the persona that she's given off this season. She can't read worth a damn, but you're talking about people and you making assumptions about people's life and just talking shit. But in this moment, I was so here for her being there for Sheree the way that she did, because she really, really needed it. And my heart went out to Sheree because heartbreak ain't nothing to play with. and it's very serious. And I know that this was very hard for her, and she was sharing this moment on national TV. So that had to be very embarrassing, knowing that what will come of this. You know what I mean? And I just really think that it's really fucked up of Tyrone to create this scenario for her. So then Marlo says she isn't going, Sheree then tells Marlo that, you know, she's really hurt over it, but don't get mad at her if she still talks to him, because she can't help that she still loves him. And Marlo says, listen, I don't want to have this conversation with you again, but I ain't gonna judge you, sis. Like, you got to do what you got to do to work on through it and move on with the situation the way you feel is best. Then they go over and get their feet massaged and in the night. So then in the next scene, in the final scene, Sanya has her Caribbean cook-off event and the ladies arrive. Kenya asks, where's Drew? And Sanya proceeds to let her know that she told Drew about the event, but Drew said that she didn't want to come because she's like, listen, you ain't invite me to the other event because you ain't feel like we needed to be talking, and maybe you don't need to be having me at this event either, child. So she decided she wasn't gonna come. So then Sheree comes in, and before she comes in, I noticed Kenya started coughing when they were cooking. So everybody sees that Kenya is not feeling well, and Candy is like, I ain't trying to get sick, so don't be over here coughing around me. So then Marlo uses that as a chance to bring up the situation with Tyrone and Sheree so that she can have a conversation with Candy about it. So she's like, well, we had this event, me and Kenya planned this event together, but we ain't seem to do it together because Kenya was sick. Speaking of her over here coughing the damn lung up, child. But yeah, I did the event by myself and we had a good time or whatever. But I would just think that Candy, you would have supported Sheree. Like, why you ain't call her and talk to her about it? And so Kenya chimes in and says, I did tell, Candy about the situation with Tyrone. I hope that's okay, because Marlo was getting ready to tell Candy, and Kenya chimes in and says she actually did share it with Candy. And, she says, I hope that wasn't a problem for me to tell her, Sheree. I'm sorry if it was. And Sheree says, I would have rather told her myself, but I'm actually really disappointed that Candy, now I know and you still didn't even call me and check on me. Like, that's kind of messed up. And I kind of can see both sides. Like, Candy just got out of a situation with you where you felt like she shouldn't have said anything, because of the whole situation where Drew came to her and told her something about the assistant, saying that, Sheree doesn't pay people or whatever. So you were mad that Candy went and told everybody else but didn't come to you, right? But then another situation arises where somebody else again is coming to Candy and telling her something. So she's probably caught between a rock and a hard place of, damn, should I go back and tell her exactly what happened? Or do I just let it play out, let it ride, and let her come to me? Because it fooled me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice is my problem. So I'm not going to do it again. So I can see where Candy was coming from, but then Sheree was really hurt. So I think she really needed her friends. And it would have been nice for Candy to reach out and say something, because especially if the pictures were surfacing online, this is your homegirl. Like, call her and check on her. But I don't think that there was any malice or malicious intent with what Candy did. But Sheree seems to really be hurt by it. So then Marlo goes in on Kenya saying, yeah, and this girl was over here in full glam. She over here coughing and stuff, but you was in full glam, but you couldn't come to the event, talking about you sick and all this, that, and the third. And Kenya says, you choose not to listen. I told you why I wasn't coming. I told you I didn't feel good and I was in full glam because I planned on coming to the event. You choose to pick and choose to hear whatever you want. And frankly, I'm just really tired of this. So they end up going back and forth. And Mama Joyce just ceases fire to the whole situation. She says, you know what? Listen, we here to cook and have a good time. The girl said she was sorry. Now shut the hell up. Let her move on. And she waving the knife around. And Candy's like, all right now, Mama, put the damn knife down, child. It ain't that damn serious. So then Marlo and Sheree proceed to go outside, okay? And they're talking, and Marlo begins to say how Candy is such a hoe, and Sanya is trying to be around the it girls, and you know, she's just social climbing. She wanted everybody that had the most followers to come to her event, and that Kandi basically the F half of Atlanta, and everybody that she got with was not even in her tax bracket, and she was effing everybody for free, child. I'm like, Marlo, god damn. I mean, tell me you hate me without saying you hate me. Tell me you're jealous of me without saying it. Like, what did Kandi did she piss in your Cheerios this morning? Unbelievable. I was like, wow, you're really going in. And but you took your happy ass outside and said all that shit. You ain't say that shit to her face. That's what you didn't do. Cause you know better. Okay. So moving on. And mind you, I've seen in the blogs, and Kandi actually has a video saying that she was the one that got Marlo on the show. So I don't understand why Marlo is just like, it has to be that she has some ulterior motive where it comes to Kandi, because all of this negative energy that you're giving her, it's giving lane. Like it's you're missing, sis. Like you need to stop. Saying is making me like Drew more. Ooh, really? That's an interesting twist for sure. Jessica with a K also says that was a low blow from Marlo about Kandi. That will be hard to come back from. Abso-freaking-lutely. Listen, Kandi was cussing that ass out in an interview. Actually, let me pull it up real quick so y'all can hear it, because I thought that it was really, really crazy that she came for Kandi like that. And I just feel like it's just giving too much. It's giving way, way, way too much. I'll look for it, y'all, in a minute. Um, I should have had it pulled up. I didn't think that we was going to go into this, but oh, it's not popping up like I wanted it to. Oh, here it is. That's why she was so fake to me. Was it day or last night she was sending us the invites, her thing. She wanted us to come support her in her business or whatever. And I was the first one on the group text, probably the only one, no, one of two of all the housewives who said, "Oh yeah, girl, I'm gonna come be there for you." She gets on my motherfucking nerves. I'm tired of her bullshit. She's fake as fuck. If y'all do not know, I have been doing way more for the community than all of them. I don't mind saying it. Okay? I don't always do everything I do on television, but if you want to go to television receipts. Speaking of culture, we just got a clip sent to us, maybe about 2 minutes before you got here. So one of your castmates, Marlo, seems to think that you should be doing more for the culture, and even said that you need to stop talking about sticks. So how do you feel hearing that tonight? So funny. And that's why she be so fake to me. Was it day or last night she was sending us the invites, her thing. She wanted us to come support her in her business or whatever. Even the food drives that I did in the past, who was the man was trying to show up to help her, and she want to act like she don't remember. Ooh. Listen, I pay off college tuitions for people I don't even know. Miss Cunningham is giving that to the culture. Oh, what? I put all my businesses in Black communities so that I can bring more jobs to our community. What's she doing? And to be clear, of all people that I've helped, she should know. Because when she wasn't on this show and couldn't get on this show for years, hello, who helped her get another show on the network? But she wanted to kiss ass and be a friend of the show again on this show, so she let the opportunity drop. And if Kandi would just focus on, now say if we went there and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you guys all how to contribute to a play and become a producer, how to get a restaurant, do some shit for the Black culture. We got enough babies and diseases out here. We don't need no shit else about sex, Kandi. You done fuck. Ooh, child. Here's my thing. So apparently, what y'all just heard, Kandi actually got Marlo. I watched another interview where Kandi talked even more about her getting Marlo a show on WeTV, where it was going to be centered all around her and her fashion and her designing and being a personal shopper for people and things like that. It was going to be all about Marlo's life. But instead, she gave up that opportunity because she wanted to remain a friend on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I would imagine that WeTV was probably going to pay her more money, especially since the show was going to be centered around her. So I'm kind of confused as to why she would want to stay as a friend on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she said in another interview Marlo did that she actually turned the peach down the first season. I mean, the in the third season they offered her an actual peach, but she turned it down. But I'm actually having a hard time believing that, because ever since you've been on the show, you've so-called been begging to come back on the show. And if you're turning down opportunities from WeTV, why the hell would you turn down an opportunity centered around you just to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta if you're not chasing a peach, sis? It's not adding up. Okay. Jessica, we talked about that. Monique C says Candy cussed her out through her teeth. She was pissed, child. You know what? When you hear Candy Bird start cursing and she talking at you with that shaky voice and them clenched teeth and her mouth spread wider, she ain't playing with you, okay? And you better take cover, cause sis about to go ham and she gonna turn into Mama Joyce and turn up on your ass, okay? Jessica with a K says Candy is a real one without having to broadcast her support. Absolutely. She does things for people all the time. Okay. She is definitely a person that gives back to the community. I just saw her do an interview, not an interview, but she did like a mukbang with an up and coming Instagrammer on her page at OLG or whatever. And she's just hanging out with him like a regular person. And he was just like, wow, you like really are very down to earth. Like, you didn't have to do this with me. Like, you didn't need me to be in this with you. Yeah, I'm getting my followers and I'm getting some notoriety, but I want you to know that this like brings me so much joy that you actually are in this video with me. Like, I can't believe it. This is a huge opportunity for me and I appreciate you. So she does stuff like that all the time. Like, Candy seems like a person that's approachable. Like, not to say that people need to be running up on a child, but she just doesn't give off the I'm a celebrity and I'm better than you vibe. And she even talked about that in the interview with the guy. Y'all got to go to her channel and see it. They did like a mukbang at OLG, okay? And I can't remember the YouTuber's name right now, but I'll if I see it before, I remember it before we're done talking, I'll tell y'all. But anyway, getting back to the review, y'all, I had to play that for y'all so y'all can get some perspective behind all this stuff that Marlo is doing. So then she starts to go in on Kenya, talking about Miss USA Kenya. And by the way, she wasn't the first Black Miss USA. While she want to get all pompous and shit. And she says, you know, she done effed every rapper in the industry and never got a ring. Then she says she wishes Drew would have came to the event. Here's my thing, Marlo. Bitch, you ain't got no ring either. And you probably done effed every rich white man in Atlanta. So what is you talking about? Don't come for anybody else unless they send for your whack ass. The only thing that you're married to is those designer clothes that you have where you're building this house with a big ass closet and a little bedroom because you need to take a nap. You need to expand that bedroom that you're building because you need to go to sleep and wake up with some sense. That's what you need to do. Minimize that closet and open up that bedroom so you can get some rest, because all of this is making me go to sleep. I'm tired of all of this shit that you talking shit about people, these lazy ass reads, talking about all this shit that you absolutely know nothing about. You're talking about Candy, effing this and that. Well, guess what? Maybe you should have fucked better. Maybe that's what you should have did, because you're still living in this little ass townhouse, ma'am. Candy has several homes. Candy has done a lot. And Candy has platinum records and wrote records for people that have gone platinum, gold even. So what the hell are you talking about? Maybe we need to see your talents so that we can understand what the hell you exist for. Because right now, what you're giving right now is falling very flat. Okay? And all this lazy shit that you're talking about, and then you're talking about Kenya. Kenya ain't F through no whole bunch of rappers. Kenya hasn't been, and she wasn't no video hoe, you dumbass. She was in movies, and these are well-known movies that she was in. Kenya has done a lot of things, and Kenya has a whole product line. How about everybody on the cast can actually speak to what they do? You the only one hiding your call girl business, okay? Allegedly. So, girl, get the hell out of here because you've been selling your coochie all around Atlanta for years. It's time for you to put that, take the for sale sign off of that and not do that anymore. Tell us what you really doing to get some legit money because all this shit that you talking about these ladies is falling very flat as a soda. Nobody got time for that. So, moving on because I'm just about sick of Marlo. She made me like her with the whole situation with Sheree, and then she just took it right on back. And then I didn't like how Sheree in this moment, you're basically going along with her and agreeing with her with this bullshit. Like you and Candy are friends, and I think that really Marlo is jealous that Sanya is coming in and you know creating a bond with Candy quickly, but Marlo is mad that she thinks that she was supposed to be in with Candy, and now all of a sudden she's pushing her to the side, which is not what Candy is doing. You are creating a gap in your relationship with running your fucking dick suckers. That's what you're doing. And don't nobody have time for the nastiness and the drama, especially when it's unnecessary. Don't be mad that Sanya is friending up. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. You're on this show to become friends with people. And frankly, I don't know why you all up in their BI and so butthurt over it. Like, stop acting like Nene's friend. Because that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing that same old shit Nene does. If somebody not giving you as much attention as you think they should or kissing the ring, then you got a problem. And bitch, you ain't got a ring for nobody to kiss. Kenya and Candy got married. How you doing? So moving on, because I'm sick of her. So inside, Candy and Kenya say Marlo is messy and they hope she isn't out there clouding Sheree's vision, basically, with her foolishness. And Candy says they probably out there plotting and claiming they are such best friends. And she says, get the F out of here. Mind you, y'all, Candy don't really be cussing like that. So for her to be cussing, she's definitely mad. And she's about sick of your shit, okay? So then the show ends with Drew walking in, and how convenient that she walks in after they finish cooking the damn food. You ain't fooling me, Drew. Okay, you ain't want to cook. You just want to come in there and talk shit and eat. Okay, stop it, cause you about to drop it, Drew. That's what you about to do. Drop the bullshit. That's what you like. This whole situation with Drew and Sanya, I just think it's just too much. Like, I do like Drew. I really do. I feel like she actually is a really good friend. She done pick Sanya up. She's bringing over the stuff to the house with Marlo for the Sheree situation. She's really being a good friend. And I don't like how, and I love the bond that she's creating with Kenya, but I don't like how Drew seems to be like a chihuahua when it comes to arguments and stuff. Like, she don't listen to people. She talks over people. And I really want her to be able to get her point across in a very seamless manner. Like, don't let people make you look like a fool. And I think that's where she goes wrong. But y'all, this season is starting to heat up. Because it's been falling a little flat. I'm hoping that these things pick up and we can get some momentum here because I've been falling asleep, to be honest. Okay. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for calling, child. I was reading the comment. Hold on. Let me see what y'all said before I go. Octavia is laughing. And Monique C says, call girl, LOL. Y'all know I ain't got no daggone sense. Y'all been around with me long enough to know I be saying any old thing. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for commenting and sharing and getting on this video with me. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watches this show too, so they can come on here and kiki with us next time. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.